Hello, Patty here, the country wife from Vermont, now living in South Carolina. Today I thought I would do something a little bit different. I thought I'd take you along on my morning. We'll see how it goes. It may be a total disaster, but I'm going to try it. The first thing is that I have learned, we'll talk about health first. I learned that if you're diabetic, you're supposed to eat within 90 minutes of getting out of bed. I have not been doing that. Yesterday I did, and it might have made a difference. I really don't know, but apparently it helps your metabolism get up and running. So this morning I decided to do that. So instead of doing my morning devotions first thing, I got up, took a shower, gathered up some things to show and tell, and came downstairs, and now I'm going to have breakfast. And this is what I'm having for breakfast. Let's see if I can hold the phone here. Well, that didn't work. So I'm going to stop the video and try again. So the thing that didn't work was I had the video camera pointing at myself, and now I want to show it pointing at my breakfast, but it won't let me switch in the middle. So I guess or at least I'm not smart enough to figure that out. So here we go. Here we are back again. This is breakfast today. There's a little bit of steamed kale that I steamed. No, I didn't steam it. I put it in the Instant Pot with a couple of chopped onions and some broth from a rotisserie chicken that I cooked the bones down for broth, and some chicken that I did in the did I do that in the Instant Pot? I think I did that in the Instant Pot also with onions and garlic and a whole bunch of no salt seasoning, and it tastes okay. And then there's a nice crisp pink apple that is going to be my chaser, plus my jug of water. I'm a big water person. I don't drink much of anything else. And beside me is a pair of socks that I've just started. These are DK socks, so they're going to go very fast using West Yorkshire Spinners Color Lab sock yarn. And does it say what the color is? I don't see that. Oh, it's called Jazz. Okay. And I'm using Flexi Flip needles. These are US 5s, 3.75 millimeters. Okay, so I started these yesterday when I sat down at the computer. For some reason, I thought, oh yeah. And the pattern is, I can't remember the name of the pattern, but they're toe-up socks. If I can find the pattern, I'll bring that out. And as you can see, I have my sewing machine on the table. I did a sewing machine project yesterday, and just for the fun of it, no, not yesterday, on Saturday, just for the fun of it, I'll get up and I'll show you what the project is, and I'll show you as I go by. See all the dots on the floor? I emptied my 3-hole punch, and part of the dots fell on the floor. And I didn't instantly clean them up. Big mistake, because now they caught on the bottoms of my feet. And when I was rushing to get something done that needed to be dealt with, and so now I've got dots everywhere. So today that's one of the projects. But this is the project that I'm going to do. Our daughter created this project, and I am going to make this nice tote bag. Let me see if what do we got here. So there's what it's going to end up looking like. I think that's what it's going to look like. Anyway, and these are the fabrics that I cut out on Saturday morning. Saturday was a big day for me in terms of getting stuff done. Okay, that's it for now. I'm going to eat my breakfast and then move on to the next, which is going to be my morning devotions. So I was thinking of showing you things that I did on Saturday. A friend came over on Friday to learn how to weave, or begin learning how to weave on, this is my husband's wonderful samplet, Ashford samplet 10-inch loom. And we got her set up and she did it. She got this far. And then I noticed after she left that many of the strands here were crossed. And I thought, well, we can't let that stay. So I took it back out to here and uncrossed them all, re-threaded the loom, and now it's ready to go. I think she'll be more successful. So that's that project I did on Saturday. Another project I did on Saturday was I made this little sample fat quarter bag for a project for next year. It's a very poor job, but it's a great idea. Well, I wouldn't say it's a great idea, but it's a good enough idea. And I tried it. It was easy. So you can see it's fully lined. I love the idea of fully lined, but I've got more work to do. And you see how it's got the boxing at the bottom, but it's the kind of boxing where you don't cut the fabric. I prefer not to do the cutting fabric. So if you can see that I just did a fold like this, and then when I stitched the side seam, that made the boxing. So that was, and there it is. The boxing is fine. Anyway, that was another project I did on Saturday. Another project I started on Saturday was another emotional support chicken. And I decided when I'm doing full-size chickens, from now on, I'm going to do the underbelly first. Because for some reason, doing the underbelly after doing all the rest of the knitting is just very irritating to me. So I'd rather have this done and ready to go when the rest of the chicken is done. Now this chicken is for one of our grandsons, and he asked for a barred rock chicken. And I remembered what they looked like, and I thought that I remembered some yarn that would work for it. So this is Peyton's Classic Wool. In there is a gray marl. And if you look at a picture of a barred rock hen, chicken, if I can find one and can figure out how to put it on, I'll superimpose it. But this is similar, it's close. But I think that there's a little more white in the chicken. So I've ordered some fine yarn to hold with this and see if it'll work. But that's put on hold. Since there's not a rush to get this done, I put that on hold for now. I don't think I showed you this. Maybe I showed you this last time. I don't know. This was a project, an entrelac scarf that my spinning friends worked on the week before. And the yarn called for was some beautiful Noro silk garden. And I thought, I don't want to spend the money on that. I don't ever wear scarves. And at that point, I wasn't thinking of giving this away. But I thought, well, I've got multiple colors of this beautiful yarn. And I looked at the Noro Silk Garden, and they had, I think it said they had 10 to 15 yards of color in a strip, and then they changed to the next color. And I thought, well, that's great. And so I got out my little yarn meter that came when I purchased one of my looms, and I went up to 15 on it. But the issue is that was only 15 feet, not 15 yards. So I wasn't thinking, so these, instead of having the color go all the way across, it doesn't go all the way across. So it's kind of wonky looking right now. It's kind of weird. But I am going to work on this. But since I don't have a rush on it, I'm going to put this away for a while and then keep working on it and see if I like it after, you know, I've got maybe a foot done. I'll see if I like it well enough to keep going. If not, I'll get some of the real yarn and do it the way it should be done. Anyway, so there's that project. Now, another project that I started is let's see if I can find the pattern in here, because this is this is a little coffee bean sweater. It's a free pattern. Let's see if I can find it. Well, oh yeah, there it is. Okay, this is Elizabeth Smith Knits. And this is the little coffee bean sweater. It's a baby cardigan. Cute as can be. So, now I'll put this back in here. And then shove this back in the bag. And I'll show you that I started the sweater. I'm doing the 18-month size. I was going to do the 12-month size, but the child is growing quickly, and so I need to get rolling. But here's the beginning of it. So obviously the royal, this is called royal purple, is the main color, and the aubergine, I'm pretty sure this is aubergine. This is Premier Yarn Stitch Please yarn. Wool is superwash wool, worsted weight. So you start at the top. You cast on X number of stitches. I think 54 stitches, and then you do the knit 2, purl 2, and then you do a couple of rounds of. You do one round. It's called a setup round, and then you put on the stitch markers. So you put on the stitch markers for the here's the front, here's the sleeve. So it's a raglan sleeve thing, and there's the back, and then you put on another stitch marker and another stitch marker, and there's the other front. So there's that started. I'm going to try to get that done this week. I don't know if that'll happen because the week is pretty busy, but anyway, I'm doing that. And I did have a finished thing that I did this week was I'd already done, I've shown you these. I don't think I showed you. I think I showed you that I was told I was going to try hemming this thick yarn and see if it worked out right on the sewing machine, and it really did. I started down here and then went back to do the back stitch, and then across, and then almost to the end and did a back stitch, and then came off like that. And this worked out okay. It's okay. I had put the stitching in pretty close together. So this is a smaller towel than I would like, but it works just fine. So there was that finished. And the final thing that I finished this week is another of our very cool for one of our grandsons. So It's a little bit wonky. I never do very well with the eyes, but there it is. He goes to a school whose colors are blue and gold, and so there it is. So I made the main chicken was the blue. This is Premier Yarn Stitch Please Worsted. I don't think it's Superwash. I can't remember. And then this is Premier Yarns Spun something or other. So that's where I got a little bit of the gold. I thought there was going to be more gold, but there is more gold, but I'm not using very much in the thing. And also I used wool fiber for stuffing so that if it gets thrown in the washing machine, maybe it'll all shrink down together. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But you'll notice that this one is sitting up. The other chickens I've made, I've stuffed them so much that they couldn't sit. They just, you know, I have a good mind to go ahead and take apart the two that we have here in the house and do the bottom. But see, we've got the nice flat bottom that had never occurred to me before that I can have the chicken sit up. So anyway, the chicken is going to go to its new home the end of this week. So this is one of those things. I asked our grandson if he wanted a blanket, hand towels, or an emotional support chicken. And immediately he said, emotional support chicken. And I gave the same offer to his brother, and he also wants one. He's going to get the Barred Rock one. So I'm pretty happy with that. So that is pretty much it. Today I'm going to go to my friendly medical people and have a CT scan of the brain to see if there's anything funny going on there. Hopefully there's not. We had a little bit of a cardiac workup last week, and all the heart stuff came back fine, you know, so hopefully the brain stuff will, and I'll be up for another 20 years of making stuff and doing things for people. Anyway, there you go. That's the story for this week. Do good, be good. Let's do it now together. Thanks for watching, and be sure to comment if you'd like to, subscribe if you'd like to. Hopefully I can make the little tutorials that I'm planning to do, I can get them done so they're things that I like to do and want to share them. So that's it for today. Bye now.